What happened to Michael Schumacher? The legend of Formula One goes from being the greatest ever Formula One driver to being left with a brain injury that he's never recovered from. Let's have a look at the story of the tragedy that happened 10 years ago that almost ended in the death of Michael Schumacher. What has happened to this day? There's been a lack of reports of what's happened to the great man and the circumstances after the injury, what his life is like now. Well, today you're going to find out right here, right now, what is happening with the Schumacher that we know and love. What has happened to him right here at Barry Charles News. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. This is your one-stop shop for everything current events, news related, and so much more. Let's get to it. Back to the beginning. Schumacher, born in 3rd of July 1969. He had an illustrious career in the Formula One, where he started out from karting, moving his way up the ladder. Then when he got his start with Jordan, then he went to Benetton, Ferrari, and then he made a late comeback after he retired in Mercedes. That was a little bit lackluster, to say the least. But little was known about this driver condition. But one thing we do know, that he is still, in most people's opinions, the best driver of all time. 7 championships equal with Lewis Hamilton, who's looking to break their record. Obviously longevity has got Lewis Hamilton where he needs to be. You could argue maybe the quality of driver is not there compared to the past, so that's why Lewis Hamilton is where he is. But yes, getting back to the man himself, Michael Schumacher. 7 championship titles, tied with Lewis Hamilton for now. 91 wins, 68 pole position, and 155 podium finishes. Outstanding. One of the best we've ever seen. But now his life is in tragedy and sorrow from the man he once was, due to the ski accident that happened December 29, 2013. And I'm sure you all remember what happened, where you were when this tragedy happened. He was with his son Mick, out on the slopes of Mirabel in the French Alps, enjoying his beautiful day, when tragedy struck. Yes, according to eyewitnesses, soon before the accident, he had helped someone else get up from a fall, and then moments later, he was in the same predicament, but unfortunately in a worse state, on the Mirabel slopes, landing on his head, which changed the course of history for himself and his family. Yes, a sad affairs happened. The funny thing was, straight after this accident, he actually felt fine, just a little dizzy, but by all accounts was conscious and was happy. And next minute, he was rushed to hospital from the ski medical team, saying, "You need to go, and you need to go now." So he was shortly evacuated by helicopter, which led him to Mute Hospital. Now, that is a big question. Why didn't he go straight to the University of Grenoble? Whether that's because the distance was too far away. But that time, mucking around in one hospital to the next, did that cost him to have the life he has right now? If they had got him there earlier, could he have been saved and be like a lot of head injury people actually can have a normal life? But because it was too late, he needed emergency surgery when he got to the University of Grenoble. He was in critical condition. He was already placed in a coma, where he had to have surgery on him. He had to have neurosurgical operations. And the doctor was a personal friend of him, which just makes it pretty tragic scenes. he had a hematoma to the brain, or a blood clot in the head, which basically means that which caused the blood vessel in the brain, which can between the brain and the membrane to explode, erupt, boom, and blood just rushes all over your brain, which leads to the pressure on the brain. Cranium nectomy was performed, which you drill 3 holes into your skull and remove a bit of the skull to able to expose the hematoma, and then you drain out all the blood. Once you've done that, you put the skull back on, and then the skin as well. And you may have to put some drains in there to continue to drain the blood. So yeah, really intense stuff, but that's what happens in the moment. Very sad. What happened since then has been unbelievable. It's really been one of the sad stories of his life. Life hasn't been the greatest for Michael Schumacher. He has spent 250 days in a coma in the hospital. He came back out, and he had no brain activity, but imagine all the internal organs and all the pressure on that. When he woke up, he couldn't speak, he couldn't move, he was left to rubble and pretty much could only feel, which seemed like the worst feeling, that he could not get out what he wanted to communicate. So sad, so sad. So since September 2014, he has been in his family home in Switzerland and has never been seen outside the office. There was talks that he had been in cars, learning the noises of what he wants to build some brain activity and a few other things, but it seems like it's all come to doom and gloom. Let's hear what Ralf Schumacher had said a few months ago about his older brother. What I can say is that the accident was very bad and drastic experience for me, but of course even more for his children. Mick, as we all know, was there at the time of the tragedy back then. Unfortunately, life isn't always fair, and unfortunately there was a lot of bad luck here to Michael too. When he is not only my brother, when we were lads, he was also my coach and mentor. He taught me everything about karting. There may be an age gap of 7 years, but he was always by my side. We raced together, practiced together, overtaking maneuvers, and everything in between that matters. He shared all that he learned in 7 years. I had the honour to learn from him the best. I miss my Michael from back then. Michael has often been lucky in life, but then this tragic accident happened. Thankfully, modern medical options have made it possible to do some things, but still nothing is like it used to be. Yes, so as simple as this, he's living with a brain injury which was so severe that he was virtually on death's doorstep. He was able to get through that, but modern medicine has basically made him not quite a vegetable, but pretty close to a vegetable, sadly. Let's hope that something can, but more than likely with all the money he's got around him and his family, they haven't been able to revive the old Michael, so they have had to live with the new Michael, which he's still the same person. He's just, sadly, he has to be supported 24/7 around the clock to look after him. He's obviously a fighter. He's still alive, doing his best, but unfortunately, expecting to see him walking the streets again like he used to and driving racing cars is not going to be. A sad events from him, but he is still a legend, and we hope everything goes great for him, and hope that he's getting the greatest support out there to continue his life, and that he lives a dignified life. He is the man, he is the legend, Michael Schumacher. Hope everything goes well for you. Have an awesome day out there. This is Barry Charles News. We'll be back with more videos each and every week on the channel.